Dmitry Shimkiv, welcome to Voister.
Thank you.
What would you say is the biggest difference between historical wars and the ongoing war right now?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me and for fantastic welcome that I've seen in Sweden. Sweden being always a great supporter of Ukraine, and not only during this war, but actually across more than 300 years of our fight with Russia for our independence. So if we look at today's war and previous wars, the fundamental differentiator that we observe today is the use of the drones and technology on the battlefield. And it ranges from electronic warfare, autonomous vehicles, drones, all kind of EW, electronic warfare. So all this abundances of technologies that are helping or very often substituting a person on the battlefield.
You said on the stage earlier that new technologies often develop or evolve from the military. Can you give me some examples of that?
So the classical examples are, for example, the internet. Internet was a project done for military, for connecting military under attack. The same things, the mother of all demos, which was done in 50s about the computer, communication in the computer, mouse, all this being developed as a part of the military project. GPS system, navigational system, that was developed as a military project. And the first drones were developed as a part of the military projects. Sensors for earthquakes, weather forecast, were all developed as a part of the military project for deterrence of Soviet Union during the nuclear war. But then a very strange example, microwave. The microwave technology was identified as a part of the military project, where suddenly engineers saw that high frequencies generate a heating which can be used to hit the food.
Okay.
So the amount of the technology that we see every day around us are actually coming through the military innovation.
Okay. And what new technologies are used by the Ukraine military today?
So a couple of things. The first, because the pace of innovation constantly. So first, the evolution of autonomous vehicles, both on the ground, in the air, in the sea. The ability to navigate and integrate all the different components into one solution. The big area of development is optical navigation systems. The ability to navigate and recognize things with the optical navigation. Sound processing, the air defense systems which are using for detection of enemy drones or missiles. This is another big area of innovation that took place. In general, the fundamental thing that unites all of it is AI. AI, machine learning, different components of AI. It's a key ingredient that differentiates this war from the previous war. Primarily because technology is much more accessible to ordinary developers or engineers, so they can utilize it for different purposes and different projects.
And what new technologies used in the ongoing war will have the biggest influence on the rest of the society in the future, like the new internet or new microwave, so to speak?
I think the fundamental area which will influence us is AI. So the advancement of AI, both in terms of large language models, as we see today, but also advanced amount of data and data processing, so the machine learning, the optical things going to happen. The speed of evolution is going to accelerate enormously. And then connectivity, ability to connect, to operate in the contested environment. That's the area which would which also go further. But I think the area where we'll see a lot of advancement in the civil is going to be drones. On the ground, in the sea, in the air, we will start seeing them flying, delivering stuff. We will start seeing them helping us out in the similar way as we will start seeing a lot of agents being deployed as part of AI solutions. That's why the similar role of the drones that will help people to perform certain actions. Either this is a heavy lifting, delivery, or accessing complex areas, or rescuing people. So we will start seeing a lot of the drones for good.
Is there some nation or organization in the world that is ahead of the others when it comes to war tech or defense tech?
For many years, we always seen the United States as being very advanced because there's a lot of investment. But at the same time, we need to take into account the Chinese investing heavily, Russia is investing heavily. We need to look at the different niches. So if we look at the, for example, missile niche, space race, etc., definitely we'll see a United States. In the some inexpensive tech, defense tech or abundance tech that can be affordable on the battlefield, because like in terms of FPV drones or first-person view drones, is the drones that needs to be in abundance, they need to be inexpensive, they need to be affordable, they need to be available in big quantities, and they need to become getting more autonomous. That's why evolving into swarms and so on. So that technology is very advanced in Ukraine, because we basically innovating neck to neck with the military. So the military gives immediately feedback to the engineers. Engineers immediately improve product and give it back to the military. Military gives, so the loop is extremely short, which gives a lot of possibility for innovation advancing forward. Russia is also putting a lot of advancement into the technology. There's a lot of engineers involved in the Russian military. There is a lot of cooperation with China engineers. There's a cooperation with Iran and North Korea. So we all need to understand that the race on the defense stack is on. But I still believer, and a firmly believer, that the world of free world will prevail.
So to secure a free world and a Ukraine free from Russia, would you say that AI and other technologies are quite significant?
I think that the most significant is people that's behind the technologies. We need to cherish our people. We need to cherish our engineers. We need to cherish our soldiers who fight and experiment and innovate. Today, one of the top engineers are military officers, and military officers are engineers. So it's a blended society that we have in Ukraine, where people are fighting for our state, for our homeland. And that's why it's very critical that it's not only when we discuss technology, AI, drones, autonomy, connectivity, optical navigation, etc., etc. All these new technologies that are emerging, we always need to remember there is engineers behind it. Engineers that make it happen. Engineers that create the products, that experiment, try and error. And because we always also need to remember, all engineers put in part of their soul in every technology. And the values of them, the values that they deliver, also defines the products and technology they produce. That's why it's not only technology, but also humans.
So last but definitely not least, technology-wise, how can Swedish and other Nordic organizations help Ukraine now and going forward?
So first, unite. So stay maintaining unity with Ukraine, unity within European Union, supporting each other, learning from each other, removing bureaucratic barriers for cooperation, especially defense tech cooperation, needs to take place. Some of the regulations that have been introduced around AI in European Union, I understand that they practical in the civil world, or civil in the peacetime. During the wartime, we need significantly reconsider this, because it's about freedom of our countries, independence of our countries. The cooperation, integration on cooperation with Ukrainian companies, learning from the technology that has been developed in Ukraine, and also integrating the latest developments that are taking place, technologies here. So I strongly encourage cooperation, learning from each other, and either it's in the cyber world, space, cybersecurity area, or AI area. That requires much stronger collaboration, learning from each other, becoming better. We should remember our adversaries are united. They are working collectively against us. So we have to be united and work collectively against them.